Saludos amigos, Cash here, President and CEO of Real Estate in TERRENAS.com. Hey guys, how are you doing out there? Hope everybody's doing well. Over the last couple weeks, I've been visiting back home in Canada, my home country. Okay, as you guys know, I now live most of the year in the Dominican Republic. I truly love the country. There's so many reasons why. I am a big advocate of the love where you live lifestyle, okay, and the love where you live mindset, which is what we've been able to achieve by spending so much time over there in the Dominican Republic and enjoying the benefits of property ownership over there and the overall lifestyle that is afforded to you by being in a place like the Dominican Republic. It's an emerging market. Things are moving. People are enjoying their lives. They're enjoying a great quality of life. Inflationary factors are not destroying whatever they have in their savings. Today's video is about the biggest asset that we have, okay? It is our homes. And we're gonna be talking about house prices specifically in Canada. What is going on? I'm here in Canada right now, and I honestly do not understand what is going on. And that has led me to do a little bit of research, and I want to share a few of my thoughts that I've been able to gather over the last couple days, last couple weeks, from speaking with different people, different professionals in the business, and overall observing the market as a real estate investor, as one of the top brokers in the Dominican Republic, okay, in TERRENAS, specifically a town that we now call home. And we're going to look at some of these reasons why we're experiencing unprecedented rises in the price of real estate here. It's just unfathomable what's happening over here in this country right now. And I want to share a few of the thoughts with you on what I've been able to gather over the last couple weeks, and see what you guys think. All right, stick around. This video is going to touch on all of this stuff. Hey guys, welcome back. Cash here, President and CEO of Real Estate in TERRENAS.com. Guys, we're starting a new website. It's called www.realestateinthedr.com. Okay, so www.realestateinthedr.com. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking to you about housing prices in Canada. Things have gotten completely out of control, guys. I've got a few notes here, so I'm going to be referencing those as we move along. But guys, right now, what I'm seeing is people are brushing off these housing prices as just some natural phenomena, and this is what happens when you have an economy like Canada has, and this is just part of real estate investing, and this is what goes on. This cannot be brushed off as some natural phenomena that's happening over here. What we're seeing here is very far from what should be happening, and today we're going to look at some of the reasons why people I've spoken to believe that this is going on, and why this is unsustainable, and why this can lead to our ultimate demise. The real estate investment, your biggest investment that you have here in Canada, you put all your money into, how that could ultimately lead to your demise. So what we're doing is looking at options and strategies on how you can avoid these pit holes, these potholes, and we're going to look at some of the reasons why. Okay, so that's what this video is going to be about. Stick around, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And guys, right now what's happening in Canada is we are host to some of the most expensive real estate in the entire world. I'm not talking in North America, in the entire world. Cities like Toronto, Vancouver, even my hometown, prices are absolutely catapulting out of control. Houses are selling for 100, 200, 300% more than they were just a few years back. So that is something that's unsustainable. But the question that what I was trying to figure out here was, why is that happening? What's the reason for this? It doesn't make any logical sense. You ask any intelligent person on the street and say, can you believe that house is worth that now? Just last year it was $300,000, now it's $800,000. No one can answer that question. So today's video, we're going to touch on some of those topics and give some of our reasons from talking to different experts on why we believe this is happening and why we believe you need to be super leery of everything going on around you. All right. So we're going to look at a few of the reasons why. Some people say that one of the top reasons is because the Bank of Canada went way too long by keeping interest rates so low. Is that why this is all happening? Or you have other people that are saying the decisions made by the federal government were not in line. Decisions made by the federal government in regard to zoning laws and holding back construction. That was one of the causes because of supply and demand issues. More demand than supply, so prices are skyrocketing. Was that one of the reasons? Another thing that someone was speaking to me about was the immigration practices of the federal government. Is it because of the astronomical amount of immigrants that were coming into the country? I believe the number, I have it written down here somewhere, but I think it was to the tune of 450,000 people. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not passing judgment on any of that stuff. I'm just looking at the facts, and this is what this person relayed to me. Into the country, again, our supply is way outweighed by demand, to the tune of a million properties. Okay, we're 1 million households short to fill demand. So now you've added 500 million more people into Canada. What does that do to prices? Okay, right now what we're talking about here, the major issue here is skyrocketing prices. Houses are not affordable for the average working Canadian family. That is completely affecting the quality of life here. That is completely dramatically causing a moral and mental and social decay of our society. And we're seeing that. Just turn on your news and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Mental illness is out of control completely. Okay, so is that another reason why housing prices are spiraling completely out of control here in Canada? Is it because of the massive immigration? Or is it a combination of interest rates, inflation being the perfect storm to take our housing market completely out of whack and out of complete balance with the Canadian population, the working Canadian population that needs a place to live, that wants to enjoy the pride of ownership? Is the pride of ownership dead now in Canada? Is it? Is it dead for our younger professionals that are coming out of college, working for a few years and looking to start a family and enjoy the pride of ownership, enjoy the pride of having a backyard for their family? Is that impossible? Is that out of reach now? That's the question. That's what we're trying to figure out here. And some of these questions are the reasons that we started what we are doing now in the Dominican Republic, guiding so many of you to take the plunge and understand that you do not need to be miserable. You do not need to stay in the city, the state, the province, the country that you live in right now, and you can't leave. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. We're living proof of that. So that's what drove us to do exactly what we're doing here today in the Dominican Republic, guiding so many of you North Americans, tons of Canadians, to show you that there's a path and there's a way for you to do it. Okay, don't get caught up in the rhetoric and believe you have to stay invested only in one country. Diversify, spread yourself out. Realize that the opportunities for your family to live a humbling life that is full of all of those amenities that your parents had and your forefathers had is available to you. It's just not available to you right now in Canada. That's your issue. Okay, and that's what you need to understand. You are not stuck. You're only stuck when your mind believes you're stuck. So hopefully watching some of these videos has helped so many people open up their minds to the fact that they do not have to stay where they were born. Okay, that's what it boils down to. You don't need to stay there. If you're unhappy and you're looking for ways to raise your family and to enhance your investments and do better in life, and you feel you're trapped, you're not doing anything wrong here, guys. You're not doing anything wrong. I assure you, it's not your fault. Okay, unless you're sitting there on the couch and putting no effort into life and expecting things to come in return for free. I'm not speaking to those people. I'm speaking to the people that are out there working hard every single day, that are having trouble getting ahead. Okay, husband and wife are working and you still can't pay your bills, you still can't pay for your house because of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. Then guys, it might be time for you to reach out. So let's keep going here. I don't want this video to be too long. I want to keep it short and sweet for you. But yeah, these are the questions. Is it the interest rates of the Bank of Canada being too low for too long? Did that screw us up? Did that screw up the entire, did that throw the entire real estate market for a spin for 2023? What's the government decisions? I know the government is very challenging on allowing developers to push forward and develop property and build more houses, build more apartments because of zoning restrictions and all these different municipal laws that are in place that slow down development and make it very challenging for developers or entrepreneurs to progress. Is that a reason why there's not enough supply driving up the prices again? Or is it immigration? Was that the driving force? Or was it everything all combined? Okay, so these are some of the things we're going to chat about really briefly here today. And the thing that that is a fact that all of you can relate to is the fact that the pride of ownership with today's prices, okay, the pride of ownership with today's prices is dead for the young Canadian families, okay? It even is extending itself to the, not just the middle class. I'm not just talking to the middle class here. A lot of my clients are not middle class. These are upper middle class that are making the decision to move. This is affecting the upper middle class. And if you're in the luxury, if you're in the top 10%, okay, you are realizing that it is not that you are struggling, but your money is being wasted. You're spending money on things that are overinflated, real estate being one of them right now. There's nothing special about some of these properties that are selling, and they're selling for more than oceanfront property that I have in the Dominican Republic. There's no quality of life associated with it. There's no benefit to it, but you're paying more for that than a little 2-bedroom home somewhere in Vancouver that is off on the side streets in a neighborhood that the value of that property was probably $125,000 a few years ago, and now it's $725,000. Okay, so you're starting to realize the ROIs aren't there anymore because real estate is costing just too much money. So the net of it is the opportunities that existed for previous generations do not exist for today's generations. Today's generation is inherently struggling because of real estate prices, because prices are too high. I have countless people that I know that are living with their parents still. Okay, this is the first time we're seeing this in generations. They're still living with their parents because they cannot afford to buy their own home. But then this ties into rental. Because people are buying real estate for so much money now, it's costing them so much to acquire that property that they must rent it for exorbitant amounts in order to have that ROI that they're trying to get. That's why they're buying that property, for a return on their investment. And they can't achieve that anymore. So the entire gamut is completely spiraled out of control. And I really feel for the young families that are out there that are trying to get going. You've got a new husband, a new wife, and you're working and you want to have children and you want to have that pride of ownership, and you can't get out of your parents' basement because you cannot afford to. Not because you're not working hard. So don't beat yourselves up over it. It's not because you're not working hard. It's because people are making the wrong decisions in places that are supposed, that we are holding them not holding them accountable to make the right decisions. Okay, and that has now created a shitstorm over here in Canada, and the U.S. is right there with us. Okay, and that is why we do this. That's why we do this. That is why this exists, because of that. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper here. What is this going to do to society? Is it going to lead to the ultimate collapse of the real estate market? Is this house of cards? Is it all just one big house of cards that's going to come tumbling down? I would have to lean towards yes, because I'm not seeing the other answer. I'm not seeing the other side of it, and that worries me. That worries me, and that's a big reason why we made the decisions we did with our personal lives and our professional lives and our economic lives, because that worries us. And if you're not thinking about it, there was a really, really good saying that I was talking to a professional investor that is a client of mine as well. And he was telling me something. He said, Cash, it's better to be a couple years early than one day late. Because once you realize that you should have left, it's probably too late. You're stuck. You're not going to be able to sell that house. You're not going to be able to sell that business. You're not going to be able to get out. So, guys, if the thought crossed your mind and you're listening to this video and it's resonating a little bit and you're a little confused as I am, then guys, be early. Just don't be a day late, because when you're a day late, it's too late. Okay, so let's keep going. A few more notes I made here from a few of these individuals I talked to, and I was talking to people from banks and real estate professionals, real estate agents, real estate brokers in and around Canada and in town, and these guys were all kind of delivering me little bits and pieces of information that I found very useful, and something that I want to share with you guys. Okay, it's not one of my typical videos. I'm here in Canada right now. Typically I'm standing on a beach and delivering the message from there, but here's a big question. Here's the big question. This is the issue. We all know interest rates are starting to climb. Okay, so in certain parts, including Windsor, Ontario, Canada, that's where I'm from, interest rates start to go up, and as interest rates go up, prices start to come down. So what are we seeing here? I've had different agents and brokers, and my own research has showed that prices have dropped over 20-30%. Places that were selling for $1 million, 700,000. Places that were selling for $1 million and had multiple offers are now on the market for 700,000 for 3, 4, 5 weeks, maybe longer. Okay, depending on the property, of course. So does that answer the question then? Do we say, oh wait, we figured it out? Bank of Canada increased interest rates. Okay, good job, Bank of Canada. We increased the interest rates. Therefore, people are now, prices of houses are starting to plateau, and they're more reasonable. So therefore, they must be more affordable. Therefore, we have this thing under control. Give it a little bit longer, and when they drop interest rates, then everybody's gonna start buying again, and everything's gonna be fine. Don't buy the rhetoric, guys. Just don't buy that rhetoric because it makes absolutely no sense. Housing prices have dropped 20 to 30%. The person that bought that home at 0% or 1% interest, the young family that decided they were going to dive in a little bit deeper than they should have, maybe because they should have been shopping in the 400K market, 500K market, but they dove into the 850K, the $1 million market because interest rates are so low. So they did their monthly cash flow and they analyzed it all out and they said, hey, well, you know what? Well, we can afford more because interest rates are so low. Unfortunately, many of these people did variable interest rates, meaning the interest rate is going to fluctuate with the Bank of Canada's decisions. So now you have people that have bought a home for $1 million, because that's the average price in Canada now. I think it's 1.1 million or 1.2 million. If you know that actual number, share it in the comments below. I think it's like 1.1 or 1.2 million is the average home price. So the house has now dropped. The $1 million home that you were paying 1% a 1% mortgage on, has now dropped to 700,000. But here's the kicker: that 1% is now 3%, 4%, 5%. Guys, when you're at an interest rate, like for example, the Dominican Republic, interest rates were a little bit higher. So when we first got there a few years back, interest rates were like 6% there, and then all the Canadians and Americans were enjoying this 0 and 1% rates, and they're saying, oh my God, interest rates are so high over there. I can't believe that anybody's investing their interest rates are so high. I can't believe they're getting mortgages from the banks over there. That's what they were saying. Interest rates have gone up over there as well. But when we went from 6% to 7%, or let's use a hypothetical number, even if the 10% went to 11%, okay? That's about a 10% increase in your monthly payment. But when you go from 1% to 3%, your interest payment went up 3 times. Think about that. So when you do that math, and I'm doing very, very generic, rough math here, just in layman's terms, going from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5% is catastrophic. It is absolutely catastrophic. And that is happening to a property that has also gone down 20 to 30%. To a property that you already could not afford. You could only afford it because you were in at it at 1%. So, moral of that story. We say, oh, now this is how we figure out this problem. We increase interest rates, housing prices will start to plateau out, will ease the demand. Absolutely, that strategy is not going to hold true and not going to help, because there's going to be so many people that are in catastrophic trouble related to this rise in interest rates. Okay, that is going to take an economy and spiral it, snowball it in a negative direction quicker than we can even shake a stick at. Okay, guys? So please be aware. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I don't like the fallacy and the thought process that things are going to be okay. I think we need to really dig deep into this and start realizing that things are not going to be okay anytime soon, because we're so deep into this that you need to have another plan. And if you don't have another plan, good luck. Or I hope you got a lot of money to waste, because you need a solid plan, because there is no quick exit strategy on this. This is a house of cards at this point. Real estate prices make no sense, and it's going to crumble. It comes back to that old saying that my friend said, better to be a few years early than one day late, because when that one day late hits, it's too late. Okay? The other part of this equation on the interest rates is, yes, interest rates have gone up. We brought house prices down a little bit lower. Interest rates have gone up for the individuals that couldn't afford it because they were in on a variable rate. And when renewal time comes, they're screwed too. So they're just screwed. There's no out. but also the young family that makes 6 figures, husband and wife both make 6 figures and make $102,000 each per year. That family that wants to buy that house, even though it came down 20, 30%, it's gone up 400%. That house that used to be $180,000 is now $850,000. So yeah, great, it came down 20% and got you to $750,000 or $725,000. But the issue that you have is that it's still too far overpriced, and now interest rates are too high. So across the board, it's a completely losing situation. So it doesn't fix the problem. Ultimately, in simple terms, it does not fix anything. And guys, keep in mind, we haven't even touched on cost of living. That's a whole different video. I'm going to be posting a new one for you on cost of living. But guys, we haven't even touched cost of living. So your biggest asset is worth, your biggest asset you cannot afford. And if you could afford it a couple years ago, now you're screwed because interest rates have gone up and you definitely can't afford it and it's worth less. You see how this thing plays out? Then inflation has slapped you in the face as well. You can't go, what you were buying at the grocery store has now gone up exponentially. The cost of education has gone up exponentially. If, God forbid, you're sick and their free healthcare doesn't help you here in Canada and you need quick, immediate help and you don't have insurance, you're screwed there too. Gas prices through the roof. Entertainment through the roof. Schooling, children, adults, university through the roof. So if your biggest asset hasn't buried you, the thing that you strive your whole life to get hasn't buried you yet, then you're going to get nailed by inflation. And how do you get that under control? Okay, all of these things, this is the perfect storm that we're going to have to pay the piper on. And there's no getting away from it. There's no quick, easy answers on this one. We might get another pump in the real estate market. And if we do, then that's bad. So if we get another pump here in the market, which a lot of people believe could happen, and you get another boost, the interest rates don't hike up again, and you're going to get another pump in the market, that's bad. It's all bad. We're too far ahead for a correction must happen. And then you add on immigration, you got more people coming in, so more demand on property. You got in, that's one point that somebody was bringing up to me, a political friend of mine was saying that there's too much red tape. There's too much red tape stopping people, developers, from developing more property quicker. And then there's restrictions on where they can do it. So all of these restrictions are tying us into a basic supply and demand issue. So the basic supply and demand issue is in and of itself going to keep prices up high. Okay, it's not that things changed. It's another topic that I have to touch on is the affordability index. Okay, what that is basically what they talk about in that is they say that the house of the price of your house relative to how much money you make, that ratio is so far off, meaning people cannot afford the house that they live in. Their incomes haven't gone up correspondingly. Okay, back in the 70s or 80s, when things were on a level playing field, you could afford your home. One income could afford it. And then when things got a little bit crazy, you had the wife starts working as well. Boom, now you can afford it again. But now everybody's working. The whole family's working, and you can't afford it. The affordability index is completely thrown off. So that's another aspect. When you look at that cost of living video, number one thing I want you guys to focus on when we put that out is how much it costs to rent, how much it costs to buy a home. In the Dominican Republic, you can have a home and you can afford it. That's what's different. So I touched on the upper 10%. Okay, we're talking about new people in the job market, college graduates, people working in the factory jobs, people that are doing well for themselves. They should be doing well. They're working hard. They're making good money. But the housing market has destroyed them. The banks have destroyed them now, and there's no escaping it. Okay, they're going to push them into a corner where they're going to have to hand over that key. You know, and it's a sad reality. And I'm not trying to be a pessimist here in this entire thing. And I apologize if I'm coming off that way. I'm just trying to state to you the reasons why we decided to do what we did and why so many others have decided to do the same thing that we did and are doing it. And congratulations to you guys. Because as soon as my clients have done it, there's a weight that is taken off their chest and they can breathe again. Because freedom comes with the ability to afford your home. Okay, that is so important. So the other element that's happening now, we're going to talk about the upper 10%, 5%, the wealthy. Okay. Yes, if you have money, that's great. And money doesn't solve all problems, but it's great to have money when you have problems. So that being said, You yourself might escape it, but your friends, your family, your employees, if you're an entrepreneur, are suffering through this as well. They're suffering through inflation. They're suffering through this housing crisis. They can't afford to buy a home. Okay, all of these things are affecting their mental well-being. That will affect you as well. So it's not just the upper middle class, it's the luxury class as well that is saying enough. They're selling their $1 million companies and they're getting out. They're done with it because they too don't see how this story plays out. And they're believing that the story may not play out as the media says it will. Okay, so this is affecting everybody across the board. These astronomical housing prices. This is not good. Another couple points I want to share with you here before I let you go is I don't know if you guys know a few of these things. These are a few of the facts that I was being brought up to speed on. Is in all G7 nations, okay, in the world, Canada is the only country that has the highest level of home price to home income divergence. Okay, the amount our homes are costing versus how much we're making is bigger than it's ever been, and on top of that, the highest in all G7 nations. Guys, that's saying something. Okay, right now I'm speaking specifically to Canada. If you're American, you're not far behind us. Okay, keep that in mind. The crisis here is housing prices. Okay, housing prices. That's the crisis, but it's an affordability crisis, and nothing is changing the affordability crisis tomorrow, next year, or in 10 years. Okay, and if you know how we're going to do that, then leave a comment below. Because you should have a YouTube channel and explain to people exactly how that's going to happen, because I can't wrap my head around it, and I haven't talked to anybody. All these people I've talked to in the last few weeks, they can't wrap their head around it. Okay, so there is an absolute crisis in affordability, and that's what this video is about. That's what we're doing is all about. It's explaining to people that your time is now. If you can do it now, do it. Don't wait. Like they say, I'd rather be a couple of years early on this one instead of one day late. Okay. So a lot of this, begs the question of when you're seeing a house, like for example Windsor, when you're seeing a house go. I had a duplex here. This is my own personal story. I bought a duplex here in about 2011 or so, something like this, and I saw that duplex. I bought it. It was the lowest priced duplex in the market when Windsor was at its bottom, and I bought it for, I believe it was $38,000, and I felt like a hero, a champ. I got the best deal, best property, up and coming neighborhood, a few blocks off, one block off the river. So had potential. $38,000, great deal. Put a little bit of money into renovating and started renting it. A couple years later, the house is worth $60,000. I feel like a champ still. Another year or so later, it's doubled. Now I'm at like $90,000. I thought maybe I could sell for 100, 110. So I called a couple brokers here in town, and this is why I have trouble with some of you agents and brokers, is I wanted to sell it. I thought I could get 120 for it. No chance, no way, it's never going to happen. You can never sell for that. So I sold it for $85,000. I sold it for $85,000. It was about 6 months later, that same house was worth $160,000. Another 2 years later, it's worth $450,000. Now that same house is probably sitting on the market for $550,000. I sold it at $85,000, and I felt like a champ because I figured I caught the top of the market, or this is kind of where we'll be, because this should be the price of this real estate at this time. Maybe 120, maybe 85, not 550,000. Yeah, this is only over a few years. Okay, so how do you justify that? This is not the stock market. This is real estate. This is supposed to be a stable asset. We've seen major crashes now. 2008 hit us like a ton of bricks, and now whatever we've got ourselves into here is gonna wipe us out. This is gonna be catastrophic. That's what I am hearing from professionals in this business. Okay, the professionals I know are saying this is going to be catastrophic. And one of my concerns is when it is, who is left standing when the dust settles? It is the massive REITs, it's the massive corporations that will come in and scoop up all of the real estate for pennies on the dollar, and they are not going to be selling it. You are going to be renting for the rest of your life. Kiss the pride of ownership goodbye. That is my own personal theory on this, because once they come in, they're going to swallow up all of those foreclosed homes, and they're not going to resell them back to you. And if they do, they're going to sell them for exorbitant amounts, and they're just going to be renting them, and you will be renting your home for the rest of your life. I kind of see that playing out like that, but that's my own personal theory. If somebody else shares that, leave a comment. Love to hear from you. So, guys, I think that's basically a wrap it up, because I think that covers most aspects of this. There's, there was some speculation here that foreign markets, okay, that was a big thing in Canada, that the foreign markets were coming in, speculating on property in Toronto and Vancouver, and starting to do it in Windsor, and therefore the government passed, what was it called? In 2018, they had passed and this was in Vancouver, a speculation tax, okay? They actually, at this point now, in 2023, they've cut off that investment. They don't even let people buy. But they did a speculation tax in 2018, thinking that would curb speculators, high net worth people, high net worth corporations, buying property here and using it as a financial instrument to drive up prices, drive down prices. And anywhere in a market where you're making 20, 30%, you're going to have speculation in that. That's what happened with real estate. So they did that with the hopes and the thoughts that they would be able to curb housing prices. Absolutely did not work, and we just skyrocketed upwards. So whatever strategies they're trying to put into place, whoever's trying to put them into place, are not working. And now we've really pushed ourselves about as hard and as far as we can on our real estate prices. Everybody's in tune with it. Everybody understands. There's not one house that can go up for sale on your street. I challenge you. You know this too. If you live in a neighborhood, every time you see a for sale sign, you already know what that house was listed for. You know what they've listed it for now. You know what they bought it for. You know what they're selling it for. You know everything about it, because this has become something that is unique to mankind, something unique to us Canadians, and it is not something that is good for us Canadians. So let me see if I touched on everything there for you guys. I think that kind of encapsulates everything. There's a lot of costs associated with it. Once we get out of that element of the discussion, then you say we're back to the supply and demand. We need more homes. You need more supply to be able to feed the demand that is coming from immigration, that's coming from speculators, that is coming from a growing population. But you have government restrictions, especially on the municipal levels, is what I've heard. There's a lot of red tape. People are buying properties, and it's taking them, in Vancouver specifically. There was a friend of mine over there. He said he bought a property 13 years ago. He just got his building permit, and he was going to put up 60 units. It took him 10 years. Okay, so there's red tape that is stopping people from being able to develop, entrepreneurs. All that's doing is adding to cost of the young families that want to buy that 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, whether it's a condo or a villa or a home. That's just adding to the cost. Okay, so every element of the way we are doing things here in Canada is incorrect and not working. In perfect unison, they're not working. So if you are in the real estate market currently or looking to get into it, then you need to ask yourself if it's the right move for yourself and your family. In that token, as you guys know, I'm in the Dominican Republic, and I'm very proud of being there, and I'm very happy to be there, and I'm very happy with my real estate investments. I'm very happy with the country. I feel the country's on the up and up. The moral and the purpose of this video is to kind of bring you guys up to speed. This is over the last few weeks of being in Canada, talking to different people in the investment fields, banks, brokers, different people that are involved in the industry, and kind of getting a feel what it's like on the ground here. I spend, like I said, I spend most of my time in the Dominican Republic. I do run one of the most successful brokerages over there, and that's not why I'm doing this. This is not why I decided to move to the Dominican Republic. Okay, that's not, these aren't the reasons for everything, but everything that we talked about here today, all these notes that I took, all the people, what they're saying here on the ground is essentially, and I got, just the other day, I got a big pat on the back from a good friend of mine. Who said, Cash, I'm so proud of what you and your family did, because we want to do the same thing, and we've had enough. So this is This is the way the wind's blowing over here in Canada. And if you like what we've done and you like how we've done it, then please send me a WhatsApp and I'll get you information on some of the properties that I feel are attractive, properties I feel that are a good option for you to invest your money into. The country itself is a great country to live in, whether you invest, if you just want to rent, if you just want to move, if you want to be there for 3 months, you want to be there for 3 weeks, you want to be there for 30 years, whatever it is, guys, think emerging market, think diversification. Maybe everything will be okay in Canada. Maybe everything will be okay in the US. I don't know. I don't have those answers. I'm saying the way things are looking, it doesn't look like that. However, I'm not about to take the chances and the risks associated with that. So therefore, I've done what I have done. And if you agree with me to even the slightest degree, then do yourself a favor and look into it a little bit further. I really believe in the Dominican Republic over other first world countries. I believe in the Dominican Republic over other Latin American countries. Dominican Republic has taken over as the top tourist destination in the entire Caribbean, Brazil, Colombia, all of them taking it over as the premier spot to go. It's an emerging market. A large part of the population is in their working years and they're hungry and driven to succeed. Major corporations are coming in and they're starting business and they're hiring people over there. Real estate development is through the roof. Gold is one of the highest mined products in the Dominican Republic. Okay, that was something I didn't know. So overall, it's an emerging market, it's an emerging economy. There's opportunity. Inflation is not out of control. Real estate prices are not out of control at all. So you're able to take a portion of the money you would get from selling your property here, if you're able to sell it, okay? If you're not that day late and you're able to liquidate and sell it, you're able to get yourself something phenomenal for a fraction of the price in the DR, okay? So guys, send me a WhatsApp if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, or you want to share, you want to add on to this video. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, then please share it, okay? Because all of this stuff, love where you live, and I say it in all my videos, it's not just about where I live. I've chose to live in Las Vegas, Dominican Republic, but it's all about the Dominican Republic. Like, we love where we live as far as the country goes. We think it's a great country. We think it's a healthy country, economically healthy, mentally healthy, on the up and up. But you can experience that in Punta Cana, you can experience it in Santo Domingo, you can experience it anywhere in the country. So Las Vegas is just one of the spots. There's so many options. So yeah, share the comments. Hope you appreciate the video. Hope helped out a little bit of perspective on different aspects of investing in real estate here in Canada. I'm very leery. I'm very leery about it, and I'm definitely not bullish on it. That's for sure. Okay, I'm for sure bullish on the Dominican Republic right now, and but that's my viewpoint. And hopefully anybody out there that shares the same ones, please reach out, send me a WhatsApp, and I would be happy to guide you. A to Z, guys. Remember, we're a boutique brokerage that focuses on you North Americans, and we want to make sure that you guys are guided properly from A to Z. Don't be scared of investing in a foreign country. Diversify your assets, especially your biggest one being real estate. You can see what can happen to it. So spread your cards out. I'm a big believer in that. And diversify your real estate, and we are the company to help guide you in that process. All right, guys, so that's it for now. Remember, guys, we're in Las Vegas, Punta Cana, gonna dive heavily into Santo Domingo this coming year, and we look forward to working with all of you, and thank you to all of you that do work with us right now. All right, guys, stay tuned for the video that's going to be coming up on cost of living comparison. We're going to be doing that for you as well, and I'm sure you'll get a little more information on that one. All right, guys, that's it. Remember, love where you live. Life is just way too short to not love where you live. And in closing, I want to share that now famous quote. For me, at least, it's ingrained into my mind, guys. I'd rather be a couple of years early on this than one day late, because that one day could change the rest of your life. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Talk to you soon.